Sedok de Amun-Rayay. Hu Nabad Mamadu Hu. Umadayad Hu. Umuzer Hu. Ni Panan Zaman Hu Wakat. Panabad Yanun. Kalel Hamadad Ater Le Amun-Rayay. Tar Shilil Pa Patet Upa Taha. Anuke Wapu. I trust by way of Amun-Rayay and his master teachers and his papyri and his warner for this day and time, Panabab Yanun. All praises are for Amun-Rayay, the Thar, the overseer of the heavens and the earth. I am Nuwapian.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Now, who had that first spiritual experience they'd like to share with us?
I do.
Very good. Go ahead,
Okay,
sister. Brother, have a little patience, brother. Go ahead, sister.
So my spiritual experience was within a dream.
Mm-hmm.
So one day, I'm gonna say this was Tuesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at the diesel prices, and the diesel prices at the time on my app that I used was like $4.98, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess like it kept being on my mind or something like that. And so when I went to sleep, within my dream, like it was like the diesel prices went back down to normal, or like went down to like $2.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like in my dream I was like, oh shit, let me hurry up and go get it. So I was like super excited, and then like I wake up and then I check the diesel prices for the next day after the dream, and the diesel prices went down like 50 cents. It went down to like $4.56. So I thought that was like kind of like funny or cool.
Well, you creating your own reality, as are we all. Well, that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
I know everybody has their finger on the pulse of reality, watching the news. And one thing that Har informed me of I thought was extremely exciting. How many of you all heard about the UN resolution? United Nations.
Yes.
I have.
Okay. Well, you know that 123 countries on the planet affirmed the resolution for black slavery reparations here in the United States. In other words, the decision was made internationally that collectively white people have wronged black people and stolen from us over the years and ripped us off, and know that they've given reparations here in this country to every nationality, to Japanese, to Indians, to Italians, to Jews, to everybody except blacks. And we're the ones that really deserve that, you know, because we built this country really
Absolutely.
on our backs. That's right, absolutely. But you have to know that we have the Most High on our side, because He says the first will be last, and the last will be first. The meek will inherit the earth. And at the time of Abraham, He said to us, "Know for a surety that your seed will be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and will serve them, and they will afflict them. Then after that time, I will come." He's here. "And judge that nation, after which you all will leave with great sustenance at a ripe old age to go to your fathers." Are you following what I'm saying?
Tua.
So evidently they're gonna be paying us some great reparations at some point, and trying to make up for slavery. With it, they can't do it because they paid us what they owed us. They wouldn't have. It would break the world. That's how much they stole from the black race and how much they owe us. But they're going to make some type of a vain attempt, right? And I understand that Panabab Yanuna said that they're going to be trying to pay black people a lot of money at the end too. But if you're watching the war over in Iran, the devil has come to an end. That's all. Black, white, spiritual, in every aspect. Their time is up. And they're just shooting bluffs, you know, like talking about they're going to attack with boots on the ground and this, that, and the other. And they're sending 5,000 and then another 1,000 troops there. You know, that sound real scary and ominous, but they understand intellectually that every time they try to get into these foreign wars, they lose and they run home with their tails tucked. You look at what happened to them in Korea. They try to go into Manchuria, and those Chinese start pouring over the border in waves of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and walk them down. They put on Korean uniforms, and because they were Oriental, they couldn't distinguish the difference. And they ran them out of there, and they had the hot foot jumping on ships and planes, and some trying to swim back to America, trying to get out of there in one piece. And what happened to them in Vietnam, right? They got tore up and were chased out there. The planes was on fire. They were still trying to hop out on the water to get to ships. Some was falling in the ocean, trying to get away. The Vietnamese had them on a hot foot. And you know that that was a very, and then what happened is that when they try to enlist people for war, soldiers, white people are tired. They don't believe. They know that Uncle Sam is a fake and the devil is not real. He's a paper tiger. So what did the Vietnamese soldiers do in that war? A lot of the white boys, they started burning their draft cards and going where? To what country? Some of you all old enough to remember.
They went to Canada.
Canada.
They went to Canada to get away. So, but then you got a president like Trump right now that's publicly getting on TV saying things like anybody that's a soldier is a damn fool and they're a sucker when they get blown up or killed. In other words, they don't have any heart to fight. They went to Afghanistan. Did they win there just now?
No.
No.
They got chased out like dogs and what have you like. So now, the thing you have to understand is that Iran is a much larger country than Afghanistan and these other places. They have a population of almost 100 million people. And those people are resigned to fight. And that country's been there for thousands of years. That's ancient Persia. That used to be Persia. You understand?
That's
Iran is ancient Persia.
Sure.
So the United States been here. They're talking about a double millennium for 250 years. And, you know, in other words, it's just a pimple on the planet's ass. It just got here. It just fell off the truck. And, you know, they're nobody. You know what I mean? And white people have stole this land from the Indians and then stole black people to build it up. Then they created a big lie over here, and it's coming to a screeching halt. That's all it is. They're being revealed. Their time is up, and, you know, they're getting ready to be swept aside by nature. And all of you all that listen to me and Google why are white people dying faster than they're being born, know full well that they're going the way of the dinosaur and that their time is up.
Yes,
so
it is.
What it is, that's right, and it's getting hotter out there, and the sun is not favorable to their leprous condition. You know that. So their time is up. They're not having babies. They're not being born, and nobody wants to fight for them. And you know, as far as they had one ace in the hole, their nuclear power, that they had that as an advantage. But in World War II in 1945, they couldn't defeat the Japanese. Them Japanese were committing hara-kiri and running in the airplanes, in the ships with airplanes and this, that, and that, kamikaze. And they wasn't going to give up. And they calculated it was going to take millions of American lives to try to take Japan if they could. You understand? They were more resolute than the Germans. And, you know, white folks, they'll buckle under pressure. But so what they try to do is the same thing they did in the Old West. They dropped those atomic bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima and killed all those old men and women and their wives and children and destroyed the Japanese reasons for fighting in the islands. You understand? The soldiers that were in the field didn't feel like fighting for a homeland where their whole families had been burned up and destroyed by the devil. You understand me? Like they did with the Indians when they couldn't defeat them. They killed all the buffalo and stacked them up in mountains and let them rot in the sun. And that's the only way that those people lived. They worshipped the buffalo. They made their tents and clothes and they ate them and this and that and the other. made their weapons and jewelry and things out of the bones. When they killed all the buffalo, the Indians started starving, right? And then they went and started poisoning all the water holes. You follow me? And they didn't have any water. Everywhere they tried to drink water, they were just dying by the thousands. The devil was a dirty. And then when the Indians were out in war parties fighting, the devils would sneak into the villages and massacre all the women and papoose all the children, you follow what I mean? And destroy, like they did with the Japanese, their reason for fighting. You understand? And the warriors come back to the village and everybody that they love was dead. You know, that break your will. Do you understand? So we know that the devil is a dog, but see, the more Iranians they kill, the more resolute these people get. The more they dig in, the more entrenched they become, and the more hostile and mad they become. Do you understand? So they done stuck their stick in a beehive over there, talking about they go and put boots on the ground. But them Iranians, they just sitting there waiting. You know that? That Republican Guard, they waiting. So they just thinking to themselves, come on in here, come on in here. They just want to put their hands on them where they can stop flying over the top, dropping bombs and missiles on them in their sleep. You understand what I mean? And blowing up things. They want them to come down there man to man, street to street, and house to house, and hand to hand and fight. Take their nuts off the stand and stand up and fight like a natural damn man so they can pick them up and slam them against the tree so there'll be nothing but devil shit for as far as you can see. You understand that? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But I just want to give y'all some idea in a condensed form of what's going on in the world. All right. Thank you, brother, for your patience. You had a spiritual experience you wanted to share with us, too.
I'm here.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Spiritual experience. I'm gonna tell you guys that I'm a headshot survivor. I got a survivor getting shot in the head, and
I can barely understand you. You have to speak up louder and slow down and separate your words so we can understand everything you're saying. Okay?
Hello.
Are you new here, brother? You are.
Yes.
And your name is?
Montreal.
Your name is? Oh, okay. Can everybody welcome the brother home, please, and love?
Welcome home, brother. Welcome home.
Welcome home, brother.
Welcome home, brother. Welcome back home, brother.
Love and life.
We love you.
Welcome home, brother. Lady. Love you out there.
All right.
Need that.
Go ahead.
This is truly healing for me today because I've recently done some research on Native Americans, and the things I learned about it really, really enraged me because I have it in my blood. My whole family does. But the spiritual experience.
I can go line Blackfoot Indian.
You said Blackfoot?
Yes.
I've never heard of that tribe. There's so many tribes. I've never heard of that one.
Well, they named us Blackfoot. The white people called us that because when the American soldiers were walking around looking for us to kill us, we knew the lay of the land, and we used to walk under the levees down in the trenches in the mud, you know what I mean, to evade them spotting us. And when walking barefoot in the mud, and they would see us later, we had muddy feet, so they called us Blackfoot. You understand? Just like the nearest Pierce Indians, they used to pierce their nose, and they used to call them nearest Pierce nose. You understand? They just made up names. That wasn't the real names of our tribes. You understand me, son?
Yes.
But on the Trail of Tears, I was there, and so were you. Go ahead.
See, what I wanted to say is I survived getting shot in the head in 2020, and I wanted to share my spiritual experience that I had on the other side.
Very good. You say you? I don't think I heard you. You were what?
I said I got shot in the head and survived, but yes, sir.
Well, I'm very happy about that. And you were supposed to be here with your destiny and your fate to be here with us. So if you could explain your spiritual experience, we're all ears. Just make sure we understand. Go ahead.
Okay. When I got to the spirit world, I had an innocent experience at first. Like when I first got there, everything was so happy and going smoothly. Then it just started changing. The spirit started telling me what happened to me. I couldn't figure out where I was. So I wasn't in the same spot I was at first. I was like, why am I here? And everything was so different. Like, the spirits, some spirits, they let you know what happened to you if you want to know. The only way I was able to get around is through by my transcendental.
Okay, you're mumbling off a little bit now. We have to understand your words, my brother.
I apologize. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, just separate your words so we can hear you and understand.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Is this better?
Yes, sir. Yes,
my
sir.
hand was covering the mic. But yes, what was going on basically? I remember trying to, like, I was jumping everywhere. I was jumping around a lot, and I was going through portals, and each portal sent me to a different dimension. And each dimension I went to was controlled by a particular demon that I did not face before what happened to me. And I had to face
the demon. You said. Okay.
Yes. And I had to. I remember I got tortured by them. I had one. It's gonna get good. This is gonna get good. All this is gonna get better. Trust me. What happened was I remember waking up in the hospital room in a different dimension, but my feet was chained up, like from the bottom of the boots that I had on, and my wrists were strapped to the hospital bed, and the chains were connected inside of the wall. The chains were connected inside of the wall like a light switch, kind of like, and then the demon was standing there and it was asking me questions, trying to get me to do things that it wanted me to do.
You're starting to get a little cloudy again.
What happened? Well, what I was saying was, the demon threatened to hit that switch if I didn't listen to it, and I didn't listen to it, so it hit the light switch, and then the chain started pulling into the wall. And meanwhile, this is going on. Like, you think the boots would just come off? No, because the boots were like strapped on me, like to where you couldn't even try to untie them, even if you were free. That's how tight they were. So yeah, when the chains was pulling, it was like it was ripping my ankles off. And I still didn't give in to what it wanted to do, and the angel stepped in, restored the demon, and pulled me out of that dimension, and I went to another one, and that next dimension was worse than that one. This one was my childhood. I went to, it was an old elementary school that I went to, and
well, they tell you when you're in the throes that your whole life flashes before you. That's what was happening. Go ahead.
Oak Park Elementary. I went there as a kid, and what happened was when I first got there, I was in the principal's office. Everything was completely abandoned because that school was abandoned before they knocked it down. But right. They knocked it down before my incident happened, so that school actually wasn't even there. So
right,
it was there in the spirit,
but it was still there in your memory.
Yes, and there's this the principal office. You walk in the door, and then when you walk in to your right, there's a wooden shelf. But you know how the teachers had those knobs and they had cabinet shelves, like big old brown ones. And it was like that. And then I saw written in blood. I saw writing in blood on the door. I think it said don't open or something. I can't remember exactly what it said because it'll trigger me.
Let me ask you something. What were you doing when you got shot? What were you doing?
Oh, me? I was just purchasing marijuana. That's all I was doing.
And AutoZone?
No. He said, this is at home. I was at home when this happened. Hello? I don't hear anybody.
I think he may have been disconnected. Hold on, please. Can you hear me?
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, hold on, please.
Now, the brother was explaining the spiritual experience. Are you still here? All right. I'm sorry we lost him. But maybe he was introducing the demons too much or whatever. I don't know. Now, look, I want to go take you all to the Holy Tablets, to chapter 15, tablet 11, the wedding of Jesus. If you don't have them, then go to Google and type in Holy Tablets, Malachi York, PDF, and they'll take you there. Hurry up. Go to chapter 15, tablet 11, the wedding of Jesus. How many of you all are actually going there?
I'm there.
I am.
Tua.
All right.
I'm here.
Thank you. All right. I want to make sure that everybody's clear about this wedding of Jesus. Because nobody really understood through religion that Jesus was married. Okay, the wedding of Jesus. Of those that have been fooled from amongst the mortals will laugh at the very thought and say, how can such a thing have occurred? So let me walk you through it, verse by verse, that you may attain a vivid understanding of how Yahshua, or Jesus, did indeed marry and have a son as Simon Bar-Jesus. The story unfolds like this. The wedding of Yahshua bar Miriam, or Jesus, son of Mary, took place in Cana in Galilee. The reception was in Bethany, at Yahshua's own house. The reason why it was not recorded was because the Essenes vowed celibacy. And it would have been a travesty to hear that one of their own had defected and married other than with the approval of the Rab, the head of the order, for the sole purpose of reproduction. This Bethany is where he lived with Martha, Lazarus, and his wife Mary Magdalene. That was Jesus' wife, Mary Magdalene, the whore, after the wedding. When he defected from the Essenes village, Lazarus, a student of his, took him in, and Lazarus also his friend that he raised from the dead, or resuscitated. Many years before he knew he would marry his sister. Bethany meaning House of Figs, a village about 1 3/4 miles, 3 kilometers southeast of Jerusalem, on the Mount of Olives, and close to Bethpage, where he eventually moved. It was the home of the sisters Mary and Martha. Here, Yahshua raised their brother Lazarus from the dead, a ritual symbolism performed by the Essenes. Yahshua lodged in Bethany during his last week in Jerusalem, and the palm procession set out from here, where he rode on the ass. The anointing of Yahshua took place 2 days before the feast of Passover, took place at the home of Simon the leper in Bethany. That was that white boy that was following him. Some of Yahshua's disciples were there. If the wedding was not Yahshua's own, why was he and his disciples invited? Think about that. Or who was these persons that was so important that Yahshua went to their wedding? Nobody was that important except him. Yahshua seemed to disagree with every other ritual in the scriptures, saying that they exaggerated. How come he went to this wedding? The law? There's never mentioned after this of a marriage. Yet Revelation speaks of the marriage of the Lamb in symbolism. That is what it says. So let us be happy and rejoice and glorify him, because the wedding of the Lamb has indeed come, and his bride is ready. And she was given pure white linen to wear, because of the white linen is the dress of the righteous. So he said to me, right blessed are all those who are called to the feast of the dinner for the wedding of the Lamb. That's all of you all. And he said to me, this, and you all are going to be dressed in white, as well. And he said to me, this was the word of he who was above, the heavenly one, which is facts beyond any doubt. That's right, the Most High. That can be found in their mistranslations. In Revelation, the 19th degree, the 7th through 10th verses. They refer and they prefer to identify with the New Jerusalem coming down like a bride prepared for her groom, where they read, and there came to me one of the 7 Elohim, which had the 7 bowls full of the 7 last plagues, and spoke with me, saying, come here, I will show you the bride, the Lamb's wife, symbolically speaking of the holy city, coming down from heaven. Yet in the 19th degree it begins, and a voice came from the seat saying, glorious for our Creator, O all of you servants, and all of you that fear him, both young and old. And I heard it as if it were the voice of many crowds, and as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of strong thundering. That was the voice of Yahshua, saying, praise be Yahuwah, the Adonai El Shaddai, that's the mighty ruler. Then it continues. So let us be happy and rejoice and glorify him, because the wedding of the Lamb has indeed come, and his bride is ready. So this wedding was not only real, but it was also symbolic of these last days, when I would prepare you all dressed in white to come to the wedding supper of the Lamb, to be ready to be taken up. Are you following me? Like in the picture in the last picture in the Holy Tablets, when you all are coming up through my vortex, being led by Sananda to the Crystal City. It is clear for those that can see that this was talking about an event that had come, and that the other was talking about an incident to come, right? So the wedding supper of the Lamb to Mary Magdalene had come, and you all being dressed in white symbolically was a future event in Revelation that's happening right now. All the heavens was prepared for the wedding of Yahshua, for it was the laws of his heavenly Father that states, there shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife. That's the law. This law would apply to Yahshua as well, if he claimed one jot or one tittle should not be removed from the law. In other words, white people and devils are claiming that Jesus was never married. But Adam had a wife, Solomon had every prophet had wives. And what they did is they followed the commandment, which was to go forth, be fruitful, and what? Multiply. And multiply. All right? Like all the animals of the field, that was their command to do. Or you would have no way to proliferate the human race. Okay, if it declares that the law came by way of Moses before Yahshua, and Moses, Abraham, Noah, and Adam all married and had wives, so the law would apply to Yahshua or Jesus as well. The law is the law. Yahshua said, I did not come to change the law of Moses, but merely to fulfill it. Yes. The wedding at Cana prepared by Mary for the Lamb to marry Mary of Magdalene. In other words, his mother was named Mary as well. And the wedding was in Jesus' house. And so his mother was acting as the one that was running the wedding for him and Mary Magdalene. This was Joshua's wedding. If he was the Heavenly Father, he would impose these laws as found in the Scriptures that he revealed to his prophets. Is not that so? Or you show me another incident where Joshua and his disciples go to a wedding reception. And what is his mother Mary doing there in this remote town to her own home? Why are the names of the bride and the bridegroom removed from your Bible? You see, at the wedding at Cana, they never named the bride or the groom. You follow me? Throughout the whole life of Joshua, Mary is never mentioned as an associate of Mary Magdalene. In other words, they never tell you in the Bible that Mary, his mother, was related to Mary Magdalene, the whore. And then at the daylight hours of the tomb, they are together. At the day of the cross, they are together. But no other place are they together. But when she becomes her mother-in-law, they have pain in common. Now, let's look at the Scriptures 2 days later. That is after Jesus met Philip and Nathanael, right? There was a wedding in the town of Cana in Galilee. Joshua's mother was there, and Joshua and his disciples had also been called to the wedding, for it was a surprise to him. It was a surprise wedding. A surprise that his mother prepared, for there'd be no point in mentioning an unrelated wedding to their family, let alone to make the statement Jesus' mother was there. Now at the wedding, we have this story. When the wine had given out, when they had drunk up all the wine, Joshua's mother Mary said to him, "They have no more wine left." Point to be made. Why is Mary, his mother, taking control of the catering of a wedding she is merely invited to? And she's not the matroness over it, right? And if she's over the wedding, it must be her son that's getting married. Why is she concerned with how much wine the guests of the bride and the bridegroom have? Point to be made. Jesus, in her eyes, was merely her son, not a performer of miracles at this point. Because turning the water into wine was his first miracle, right? Why would she tell him who was merely a guest? She wouldn't tell her son that they don't have no more, they're out of wine. In fact, concerning Mary and whether or not she was one of his followers, he made this very statement: "Behold my mother and my brethren, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother." And this statement was made after one said to Joshua, "Behold," or simply, "Look, there is your mother and your brothers." He made it clear that at that point they didn't believe. They didn't believe. In other words, his mother and his brother didn't believe he was the Messiah. Do you understand? And were not doing the will of his Father. They weren't doing the Most High's will. So Mary, his mother, would not have called on Jesus to perform the turning water into wine, because she, at that point, did not know nor believe that he could do it, that he could move stars, according to your scriptures. However, if she was the organizer of the wedding for Jesus, then it would make sense for her to be concerned with why there is no more wine left in this house. And because the wedding was Jesus being the head of the house, she would inform him of this problem. And it reads, Jesus, Gone, said to him, "They have no more wine." That's Gone means mother. And when they wanted wine, Joshua, Gone, said to him, "They have no wine." Jesus said unto her, gone, which is in Greek means a wife or a woman. What have I to do with you? My hour has not yet come. In other words, he can't perform miracles yet, so why are you telling me? It is clearly a bitter statement, for in Greek the word one would use to call and respect their mother is mater. Okay, so he was talking to Mary Magdalene when she came to him and told him the wine was up. Because gone is wife, but mater is mother. This is clearly a bitter statement, for in Greek the word one would use to call and respect their mother is mater. So Yahshua would have never spoke bitterly to Mary, his blessed mother. He was speaking to his gone, the Greek word for wife. For Mary was at loss at what to do at this wedding. So she confronted Mary of Magdalene and told her to go and ask Jesus. And says, what have I to do with you, gone? Wife. Simply, what am I to do about it? You're the one that organized the wedding. He adds, mine hour is not yet come. Simply, my time has not yet come. Speaking of his miraculous powers. Now, mine is starting to come in, as you all can see. Then the story continues. So Jesus' mother said to the deaconess, the Greek for servants, whatsoever he says unto you, do it. Only the master of ceremony could tell the servants who they should listen to. And if this was not Jesus' wedding, why would Mary have the power to tell the servants in another person's house and wedding to listen to Jesus? Right? Telling them whatever he tell you to do it. Remember, these people were not his followers. He was merely invited, according to you, to this wedding. Yet an honest heart and an intelligent mind can see that Mary, having the power to tell the servants what to do, makes her the master of ceremony. And there were 6 stone water jars, after the manner of the purifying of the Judahites. They had big jars of wine that had run empty. The Judahites have rules of ritual washing, and for this purpose, the stones water jars were there. Each one large enough to hold about 100 liters. That's big, or 9 gallons of water. That would be 54 gallons of water altogether, right? That's a big wedding. They had 54 gallons of wine, and it was all drunk up. That was a lot of people. This was a house for a very large family, or it was prepared to receive a large guest list. Now, who would be that important for everybody all over the place to come to the wedding except Jesus? So Yahshua takes it upon himself, as you were led to believe, in another man's wedding, in another man's house, to turn the water into wine. Yahshua says unto them, fill the water pots with water. Make note in your mind, this means all 54 gallons had to be empty and used that day, because the law says they must wash with fresh water. There was a very large crowd there, and after Jesus ordered the servants to fill them, the servants filled these jars up to the brim, that is, to the top. And then he told them, and I asked, where's the families of the bride of the groom if this was not Mary and Jesus? Why have they not stepped in and made their voice heard? Why has not the fathers stepped in to try to solve this problem? There is no mention of anyone involved save Mary, Jesus, and the servants. So after he told them to fill them to the brim, he ordered them, now draw water out and take it to the man in charge. Take it to the governor of the feast, not the parents, but the head caterer, called an architriklinos. In Greek it means superintendent of the dining room, a table master. This is not the father of the bride or the groom. So the servants obeyed the groom, which was Jesus, and took the head caterer the water which now had turned into wine. When the head caterer of the feast had tasted the water that was made wine, and knew not whence it was. But of course the servants under the head caterer knew, because they had conversed with Mary and Jesus. So the head caterer called the known Physos, which in Greek means bridegroom, and said to him, "Hey man, everyone else serves their best wine first." You know, they serve the best wine, and then when people get drunk and don't know no better, then they put the cheap stuff in, right? But you have kept the best wine until now. That means that the wine that Jesus made was better than the wine that they bought originally, right? And that the head caterer could not have been talking to a groom, would not have known also where the wine had come from, without saying, "I know nothing of this wine." In other words, the servant was saying to Jesus and to the people, "I don't know where this wine came from." You understand? It came from heaven, because it was not just the wine, but it was obviously a better grade wine than they originally served. The bridegrooms and his family, who would have paid for the wine, and the wine bibber would have known that this was not their wine, and there would have been a complaint. So the servants directed the head caterer to the bridegroom, which was Jesus, and the head caterer complimented Jesus for his mannerism, by saying, "You gave the best wine last." Yahshua performed this first miracle in Cana in Galilee. There he revealed his glory. So every time y'all see me perform a miracle, whether healing you or doing whatever I'm doing, you bearing witness to the Lamb. "Behold, I looked at Mount Zion, and there stood a Lamb, and with him 144,000 with their father's name written in their green light foreheads." Are you following me? So you know how close you're getting to rapture. And after this, Joshua and his mother, brothers, and disciples went to Capernaum and stayed there a few days. This act is commonly called a honeymoon, for Mary Magdalene was also one of Jesus' disciples. The place called Capernaum was the city of Galilee where Mary lived. So Jesus, his new wife, his new wife and mother and disciples went to her house for a private reception and honeymoon, a very common practice. The story does not stop there. Jesus and Mary Magdalene had a son who they named Simon. And Simon Bar-Jesus was trying to be like his daddy, like Prince York trying to be like Malachi, you know what I mean? And he tried to do everything Jesus do. That's why they get that Simon says, put your hand on your head and rub your. Simon says, and he tried to do everything like his daddy. And he became known as Simon Bar-Jesus. Bar means son. Simon Bar-Jesus. Simply translated in Aramaic, Simon the son of Jesus. If you read the second degree of John, the whole chapter, be it in Greek, Hebrew, Aramaic, Syriac, Arabic, or Latin, the facts will still remain the facts. The wedding of Cana was the wedding of Jesus to Mary of Magdalene, right? Now, what kind of questions do we have about anything right now, family? Can you all hear me?
Yeah,
I
we
have
can
a
hear you,
question.
Moon.
Right. Go ahead, sister.
Okay, so Mary of Magdalene, that was his only wife, or he had another wife?
No, he had another wife. He had another wife, and he had other children.
But just Mary was the only one referenced as she was the first wife.
Yeah, she was the first wife.
Tawahat.
All right.
I have a question, Masar.
Yes.
Is that the only time a marriage is mentioned?
Yes, in regards to Jesus, yes. And his mother and Mary Magdalene, yeah. That's the only time.
I mean, who was the second wife?
Martha.
When that Mary's sister?
Lazarus' sister. Lazarus was his best friend. You follow me?
Oh, okay.
All right. Next question.
But when they were both there to roll away the stone, only it was Mary and Mary of Magdalene. The two were there, not Martha.
No, it was him. It was his mother and his wife were there. The question about rolling away the stone is that if Jesus ascended in the spirit, like they claim, I mean in the physical, like they claim, if he was in the spirit, why would they have to move the stone? He could have walked right through it, right?
Right. Wow.
And that's the brother that was talking to you about being shot in the head could have told you that. So why did they move the stone? And who was this gardener, this man dressed like a gardener that Mary saw when she was looking for Jesus? And she was seeking for her master. And she said, "Have you seen my master?" And he confessed that it was him. And she went to touch him. And he said, "See thou do it not. Don't touch me. But go and tell them," in other words, my disciples, "that I have, resurrected," right? So that's when he showed up later in the upper room and to the disciples, and they just swore that he had been crucified. And he told them, asked them, "Have you meat here?" Right? Because the spirit don't eat no food. But he was saying, "I'm hungry, have you meat?" And Doubting Thomas was still doubting, so he told Doubting Thomas to touch my palms, touch my hands. In other words, see, there's no wounds in my hand. He was trying to get them to understand that the Essenes had pulled off a coup, where that it was actually Judas Iscariot, his second cousin, that had betrayed him, that was crucified and hung on the tree, and not him.
That's right.
You understand?
Do I?
Ooh. I mean,
yes.
I mean, why is it hard for people to believe that Jesus was ever married then? Or even
because they were taught by white people that he wasn't. You see, they're trying to create religions where people are obstinate, where you have priests and nuns, right? And nuns don't get none, do they?
That's right.
Right, you understand?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But now, if everybody practiced that, would there be any people in the world? Yes or no?
There would not. No.
So they're not going forth and being fruitful and multiplying, right? That's the devil working.
Ooh.
Is this their way of trying to hide the fact that they can't reproduce like we do? So they try to. Is that why they try to keep us from?
They're trying to distort the story, and they're trying to convince you that he was just a man, and they had the power to kill him, and he wasn't just the son of God. Howbeit, because he was glorious, they had to admit that he raised from the dead after death as the Son of God. But they never backed up off the story that they had the power to kill him. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which they never did. He didn't die at the age of 33. He didn't die at the age of 33 from crucifixion. Jesus passed away at the age of 120. A natural death, which his heart gave out by him climbing up the Great Pyramid and going to the center at the top, where the lines converge if you draw one from each corner on top of the square. He laid down in the middle of the pyramid where X marks the spot. And he passed away in the sins that turned to dust up there at the age of 120. So they just lying all the way, all around. The devil is a liar, that's all.
That's right.
And they're terrified for y'all to know that I'm back. You understand? Because that'll lead to y'all remembering. That's right. That'll make y'all start remembering that y'all back and were with me then.
I got a question.
Yes.
That's right.
How important is Paul to like the
He's the devil.
Like, my mom always keeps.
I know. That's a religious thing that they do. Referencing Paul. Paul is Satan. And Paul never, let me explain. Paul never met Jesus. On the road to Tarshish, talking about kicking against the pricks, he disobeyed. He never even met Jesus. And he was not one of the 12 disciples. Do you understand?
Yes.
Paul was a nobody, an asshole, and a demon. That's who he is.
Self-appointed, yes.
That's right, self-appointed.
So he was like a manipulator in the.
He was a lion snake, right?
Man,
your mother's confused.
She is confused because every time, like, I talk to her, like, she brings up Paul and like how good he is.
And let me fuck Paul.
Yeah.
Paul was the devil, right?
The self-appointed apostle. That's right.
The self-appointed apostle, right?
Oh my gosh.
He just made it all up. He never even met me.
Well, Jesus said he don't fuck with Paul, so.
No, I don't. Their Bible said he said that. Jesus told them not to go to the heathen. Don't go to the heathen. But Paul went to the Caesars and tried to bring our religion to them, and they were heathens.
That's right.
They worshiped mythological gods like Zeus and Thor and Odin and all that.
That's right.
And when Paul went and proved that I was back and we were real, that they said, we can't go out and change our religion. The people would believe so long they would rush the palace and stone us to death. And they came to an agreement that they would mix the truth with the lie. Because at that time they used to call the Most High Jah.
Yeah.
And they used to worship Zeus, remember?
Yes.
And so they put it together, Jah Zeus, and came up with the name Jesus. Because there is no J in Hebrew. Now if you remember Zeus, he was a mythological god that wore a toga, a blue and red toga over his shoulder. That's where they got that outfit for Jesus. From Zeus. You understand? Now you see it?
Another question is,
yes.
Was Paul, did he do that on purpose to be disagreeable, or was that just like him being delusional?
Yes. He was trying to make himself fit in like these self-appointed niggas now claiming they this and that. And they not nobody, appointed by nobody, just niggas and peckerwoods, Rev, Deacon Pork Chop, and Pastor Fried Chicken trying to claim they this and that. And they got no connection with the heavens. That's why the Most High gave everybody he sent a calling card, which was the ability to perform miracles, like moving stars or raising the dead or feeding the hungry, because that was his way of separating them from the charlatans, the clowns, the devils, the fakes, you understand? Because they can't do shit but talk. You understand? Har and I were on the phone with a old Nawabian named Tracy in Macon. And I love the boy, but he's confused and possessed, you know. So when I told them I would call him and Terry, another Nawapian, tonight and perform miracles, move stars, he would tell, "What for? What for?" I said, "Nigga, get the hell out of here. I'm turning the water to wine because my hour will come. That's why."
That's right.
And I told him that Malachi moved the star for two brothers in Brooklyn. Why did he do it? And he got quiet.
That's right.
So he's appalled and talking about he's Al Cooped and he's this and he's that and he's a leader and he ain't nothing but a devil. That's what he is.
Exactly.
Are you still here? He's working. But he's a devil just like Paul. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
And he talking about he read the Holy Tablets all the time. A couple of years back, maybe 4 years ago, he challenged me with the Holy Tablets. And y'all know because in chapter 13, chapter 16, verse 248 through 252, when the Most High said, "I, Elion, Elion El, sent to you Achmet as an apostle, reciting the purified pages of the Holy Tablets, I cut him up in pieces from the ankle all the way up." Do you understand? Tied his mind in a knot and threw him over a fence. And now he's trying to act like he don't remember what happened, right? But I put him in the meat grinder playing with me with that book. I shoot him up and spit him out, right?
That's right.
Every time he tried to open the door, I was on the other side opening and saying, "Hi there." You wrong again, nigga. Yeah, right. He was going crazy, right? Because he had filled his mind up with all these empty lies, pretending like he was this and that, and he wasn't shit on a stick. That's all.
That's right.
Just like all the rest of them, ain't that shit on a stick. They pretended to be. They want to be. Everybody want to be Martin Luther King till it's time to get shot in the goddamn head. Okay?
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
Then they never knew that man, right? When it's time to get tried. The third cock of the crow. I'm not him. I never even knew that man, right?
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Everybody want to go to heaven, but nobody want to die.
That's right. It is. And I'm a willing sacrifice for you all. Do you understand that?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
I love you.
I love you.
Thank you.
It's not bravery. It's just for real. That's all.
That's all.
Much gratitude for all you do.
I love you.
Love you too.
And y'all back with me too. You have to understand that. That's really what they're trying to keep y'all from realizing. That all those years you all were there. You the same people coming back over like me and Malachi in chapter 6 after the flood. He came back to initiate, Abraham. Then he departed. Then he came back as Melchizedek in another body to initiate Moses and Aaron. Then he came back after he departed to initiate Yahshua, Jesus. That was me. Then he came back to initiate Achmet. That was Muhammad with the Quran. Then he departed. Then he came back to initiate Al-Mahdi. That was Achmet, me, and Kordofan, 19 imams later. And now he came back in the last days to reveal all the facts. That's Dr. Malachi Z. York, the one you call Panabab Yanun. And in the last days, I would come forth, the one that revealed all the facts, hidden and unseen and unseen. And let the leader, Achmet, approach the throne. Then the end is near.
Mahmoud. That's right.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
So I'm here, and the end is near, and it's time for y'all to get dressed in white. Time for y'all to get dressed in white and start ascending up through this information, not through my head like in the last picture. You're not going through my head physically. You're going. It's the information that's coming through me that's raising you all up like tonight. You're being awakened to what really happened with the wedding at Cana. You understand?
Tua. That's right.
That's what's raising you up. Is the information is breaking the spell.
That's right.
You understand?
Yeah.
And you're sending back up to your right mind, back up to heaven.
Raising our conscience.
That's right. And you're gonna be dressed in white while it's happening. You understand?
Yes,
so you're making yourself ready for the wedding supper of the Lamb. Because behold, I looked at Mount Zion, there stood a Lamb, and with him 144,000 dressed in white, with their father's name written in their foreheads. They said that we're gonna look like a cloud. That's everybody with me dressed in white jalabias. We look like a big white fluffy. We're gonna look like a big white fluffy cloud.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's really happening.
Tour.
And we are gathering. Now, Danny, did you send your measurements to right? Yes, he did. Okay. And Aaron, are you here in Chicago?
Yes, I'm here.
Did you send your measurements in?
No, I did not. I've been over the road. I'm going to get them in.
She said she just needs the top. You sent the bottom.
Okay.
All right. And there was somebody that sent theirs in that had to send it in inches. Oh, Danny, he sent it already. Okay.
Yeah, I sent it.
All right, very good. And Asar, you got your package today, right?
Yes, sir. Me and my son.
All right, so y'all dressed in white already. I understand. And
yes,
you
sir.
got your HCG. And you got your HCG, right, Asar?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're going to get started tomorrow, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. I love you. I love y'all. And this is very real. And we're working on Bess's outfit too, your mother.
Yes, sir.
It was cut out yesterday. And it was cut out yesterday, Bess, and it'll be starting to put it together tomorrow.
Thank you.
Y'all see this is happening, right?
Cool.
Yes.
That's right.
Cool.
Because as it was in the beginning, what?
So shall it be
in the end.
It is all a part of prophecy. You hear me?
Cool.
And who is my mother? Who is my father? Who is my brother? He or she, whoever does the will of my Father in heaven. That is my mother. That is my brother. Do you understand?
You are my brother keeper.
That's right. So all of y'all that's dressing in white, then you know who you are. Look at the last page of the Holy Tablets. You're not dressed in orange. All right, next question. You know what it is? I just want to get these things cleared up in your mind because get all this religious BS out of you. You understand that? For once and for all, I want you to know that you all are divine and you were sent from heaven. Those of you, though, the elite few, because most of the people down here are the children of the devil. Know that. And many of them don't even know who they are themselves. But they're what you call fire children. You follow me? Right. But I want to save them too, if they would just shut up and get out their way. But they got incredible egos and they're very stiff-necked and hard-hearted. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And they do wrong in firm resolution. They stump their feet, bow their legs, and put a hump on their back, nostrils flared, wide and flat, and breathing hard like a bull. And they be like, fuck that, nigga, I can do what I want, I'm grown. Okay.
All right.
You know, let me tell you something about birds that follow the Creator's guidance. They can't read no map, but every year they arrive safely in paradise in a warm climate. Any bird that don't follow him ends up north, dead on the sidewalk, yellow tape, feet up in the air, hard as a rock.
That's right.
Doing his or her own goddamn thing. I understand. Like that broad said on that thing, I'm my witch, I'm my own witch, and I fly my own goddamn broom.
That's right. That's right.
Fly your own goddamn broom. That's right.
That's right. That's right.
Fly it right on in the hill, bitch. Right. Keep flying. That's right. Keep flying and keep goddamn dying. That's right. I fly my own broom. You bold ass nigga. Brass ass monkey.
Brass monkey.
Yeah, brass ass monkey.
With the shell. That's it.
That's right.
That's right.
But she's hard as penitentiary steel and dug in talking about and put a picture of herself on a damn broom for real. Talking about I fly my own broom. In other words, y'all can't tell me shit. I know I'm a devil and a rebel, so fuck it.
Right into a brick wall.
I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Well, you at it. Now you gonna fish or cut bait or shit or get off the pot. Now what you gonna do?
Say that. Yes, sir. Say that.
Tick-tock, goddammit. You on the killing floor right now. Now what's up? Is you ain't my baby. That's it.
Okay. All right.
That's right. Or you belong to the brother from another goddamn mother.
Cool.
Michael said, it's hard. I'm a white man. But at the end, when that truth started getting on him, he started saying, I'm looking at the man in the mirror asking him to change his ways, right? No, nigga, I thought it was, it don't matter if you're black or white. I thought it didn't matter. So, I'm black. No, I'm white. I'm black. It don't matter if you're black or white. I know it. I hear you. Till that fire get up under your feet. Now you're looking at the man in the mirror, asking him to change his ways. Yeah, nigga, I understand. You don't feel like it's such a thriller no more, do you?
That's right. Hell is hot, ain't it?
Get your ass out that cemetery and quit bullshitting with that devil mess. You know that ain't natural, nigga. You ain't no goddamn white boy.
That's right.
I mean, I have a question.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, for real.
Right. Who rolled the stone away from the tomb?
Nobody. The Roman soldiers claimed they rolled the stone, and the only reason they did is because they were trying to look and check his body like they rolled the stone away from Lazarus so he could come out, right? But when they rolled the stone out the way, they found out it was two angels sitting there where his body was supposed to be laying. Jesus was actually not in the tomb, but you got to remember in the Garden of Gethsemane, when Judas betrayed him, that he brought the centurions there to arrest him. And Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane, had asked the disciples to stay awake, to bear witness to what was going to happen, not to try to change it. And they went to sleep, right? And Judas walked up on him with a lantern and told the soldiers that he would kiss. They didn't know what Jesus looked like. Said he would kiss him on the cheek to betray him. And when he came up with the lantern, Jesus said, do what you came to do quickly. And when the Roman soldiers came up on him to arrest him, Jesus said, I'm the one you're looking for at the bookstore. He said, I'm Pastor Danberg. I own this store. And all of them fell back, all on the ground over one another.
That's right. That's right. They was in slow motion.
That's right. In slow motion. That's right. Yes, they did.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, they did.
That's right.
Just like it was with me, as it was in the beginning. That's right.
Wow. Man.
Now it's 10 to, yes, Bill, it's happening, and you all are part of it now, and you always were. But you got to be strong enough to make that uphill climb.
He's here. Can't you see it? He's here. Period.
That's right. Yes, I am. And so are you. That's what I'm trying to say. Can't y'all see that?
Yes.
Ooh.
Because they
Yes,
call
and
my
I can't
disciples, you already hear, they call my disciples the sons and daughters of thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Because you all perform miracles just like I did. Feeding the hungry, healing the sick, and raising the dead. But they don't want you to know that. Do you understand?
That's right.
Ooh.
The devil is a liar now. He wants you to think you ain't never a nigga and that's all you gonna ever be. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And you flying your own broom and you ain't got no heavenly father and you a renegade nigga to do whatever you want, pretend you white or just go crazy.
That's right.
You understand?
Yes.
Now it's time to go outside and perform these miracles. Now who's gonna be with me on that? Trying to strengthen that muscle that then went dormant inside you. What do you see where you are right now?
I see a moon. A moon.
All right. Well, what we're going to do with that moon, Asar, is we're going to raise it up in the name of Amun-Rayay. Go up, moon.
Yeah, it's going up, too.
Raising up.
Yes, sir. Now we're going to make that moon drop down in the name of Amun-Rayay.
Yeah, it's coming to me.
Already moving down.
That's right.
I see it moving down, sir.
I love you. Now we're going to make it go in a circle clockwise in the name of the Messiah, Yahshua.
Yes, it's doing it.
Moving it clockwise.
That's right.
It's going, sir.
You snake.
Now we're going to make it go to the left.
Yep.
Moving left.
Yes, it is.
Now up and over and back to the right.
It's bouncing.
Oh, man.
Yes, it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Now
I see a glow around
We're gonna make it travel. We're gonna make it travel in the infinity sign, in the letter 8 on the side.
Yes, sir.
It's doing it. It's
moving.
Yes. And got a glare
I
around.
love you.
It's us, and we back. We're back.
It's dancing too.
Like we never left.
We're
That's
back, and we're black. Yes, it matters if you're black or white. God damn it. Not spiritually, but being white affects your mind. You understand? And your decisions.
Right.
You follow me? Because you have a tendency to look like they think, to act like they think you look, whatever. That's why they raped and did all that to us. You understand?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So when the lights come on, the smoke they were in the last days, they would have themselves mixed up with you like the fly. Help me, and you would be all confused. Do you understand? But ain't no confusion about the Most High. Just think if you was the only one here on the planet, what your decision would be then.
That's
Fuck
right.
Uncle Willie and Aunt Jane. You got to make this decision for yourself.
Say that. Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Now, I love you all, and you know that. So get these people in class, and y'all start, let me tell you again. I love y'all more, but y'all got to open up all these rooms and don't depend on no individuals, because there are devils, black-ass devils, that's trying to prevent this truth, and white ones too. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Right.
Tour.
So everybody open up at least 2 rooms. That's it. Open up 504 and 712 and 267 and Zoom. Open them all up. Right.
Yes, sir, we in them.
I love y'all. And write your testimonies. Write your testimonies. Send in your donations. Get your spiritual packages. Order your robes, your divine robes, your white robes. And get these, above all, post these posts up all over the world in TikTok, Instagram, Telegram. I'm out there in the media. I don't see you all enough. get out there and do the work and wake these people up. Because until it's all the way right, it's not right at all. Nitia authority, Amun-Rayay, answer, servant to the 144,000. We are one. Peace.
We are one. I love you.